Good evening, good evening. So I'm showing myself at being about 5 minutes late. My apologies for that. Huh. So, there was a. I was seeing what came up on my thing, my tablet. I normally don't get notifications on my tablet. So anyway, I was asked about an incident that happened in town that I don't know, or that I hadn't heard anything about. Somebody had asked me about it. And so I reached out to a friend that kind of lives that direction to see if she had seen or heard anything. And no reply. Still haven't heard back from her. So I was concerned for a bit, but then I had talked to someone else and at least confirmed that it was not her. So that's all I'll go into because, well, I don't know any details whatsoever myself. So, anywho, so by the time I got done talking and over here and got my other coffee and got sat down, I just pulled my shoes off. I'm here. I'm present. Not accounted for, but I'm present. So anyway, a lot of craziness. A lot of craziness going on. Apparently a dude tried to light the governor's mansion on fire in Pennsylvania. That's an interesting story. Of course, there's a lot of different rumors and talk about, this guy's political leanings and all that stuff. And, I mean, kind of rightfully so, But apparently, from my understanding, dude claims to be a libertarian, I guess. I don't think it was about political party. I think it was because the governor of Pennsylvania was celebrating Passover. And I think that's what it had to do with. I think it was, truly anti-Semitism. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff that gets that label thrown on it, but you try burning somebody's house down, and if it's because of, their faith, and their faith happens to be Jewish, that's anti-Semitism. But criticism of Israel is not, and I want to make that clear. I will continue to make that clear into my last breath, because they're doing everything they can to try to make it illegal to even criticize. And I'm sorry, there isn't a single nation or a single faith, including my own, that I am going to go with, oh, we can't be critical about it. Homie, don't play that. So, anyway, got a lot of stuff to cover. Apparently, there are some court filings that are aiming to do the very thing that I came out saying the very day of the Biden pardons. And that was, okay, those pardons are federal. And I mentioned the states could get a hold of it and play hot potato, One state rack up 5 years, and another state rack up another 5 years, another state another 5 years. 50 states in all, that's 150 frickin' years. Not that all 50 states would charge him. And I'm saying him, I mean them. It's not just Fauci, there are many others. However, looks like the states are doing that very thing. And right now, I've actually got it on the home page. So if you go to the watchmannews.com, first of all, when you go to it, because of the files, the PDF files, it's automatically going to scroll down on you. I'm going to show you here. See how it automatically scrolls down? It did that on the page. I got the files too, so I don't know why it's doing that, but just scroll on up. And it's right there on the home page, or you can click the Watchman News. Either way, it's on both pages. But there are 7 documents in total. One of them is Louisiana AG final brief, final without exhibits, and nationwide COVID criminal enterprise laws, and request for investigation, Missouri 12, whatever that is. Let's see, filed Texas AG brief without exhibits. Let's see, Oklahoma AG brief final. Terminated firefighter takes religious discrimination case to federal appeals court. So that's another one here. And then it just says Florida. But so these are all different files that they're going state by state up against. And the one file has the names, not this one more here. And I asked Grok to give me the images. Was it this one? I think it was. Hang on, let me fast forward it down. The one I was looking at had names listed, because that's what I used. Well, it's clearly not that one. Ah, there they are. The names listed, and this is in the Oklahoma Attorney General brief. The names listed are number 1, Anthony Fauci. He's right up top. Cliff Lane, Francis Collins, Deborah Birx, Rochelle Walensky, Stephen Hahn, Robert Redfield, Peter Daszak, Ralph, Barrick, I guess, and Rick Bright are the individuals named here. And the charges, man, they're serious. Terrorism and murder, that's pretty serious. I mean, they aren't playing games. They are not playing games. I gave the example back when I talked about this. If each state gave 5 years, we're not talking about 5-year sentences here. We're talking about a single state can rack up a life sentence. So, I don't know what to say. When you play games like they did, and when you try to mandate something like they did, and you do everything you can involving the carrot and the stick to get people to go along with it, and then there are deaths as a result, that's not good. You had New York's governor that was literally sending COVID patients into nursing homes. So let's take the individuals that are most threatened by an illness like that and put them around the people that have that illness. I mean, that was insane. New York wasn't the only state to do that. Not by a long shot. That's just the one we really heard a lot about. So I haven't dug through these files, and you just go to the watchmannews.com. Like I say, they're on the home page. I would say you have to scroll down, but it'll do that for you. You'll actually have to scroll back up. And you can click the link here and just download your own copy, or you can just read it right on the website right here. So either one, I put them there on the watchmannews.com. And hopefully they get some traction and something's done. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, a lot of craziness. Let me check over on news, and it's still bothers me. Friend never has replied or nothing like that. Left messages on her phone. So I'm still concerned, but at least the incident that happened in town wasn't, it didn't involve her. So, that is a good thing. Okay. Don't have a lot of headlines. Of course, it's a Sunday night. This is the first one. I already mentioned it. Suspect arrested in arson fire that forced Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro family to flee residence. As a man scaled an iron security fence in the middle of the night, eluded police, and broke into the Pennsylvania governor's mansion where he set a fire that left significant damage and forced Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro, his family, and guests to evacuate the building, authorities said Sunday. The man, captured later in the day, will face charges of attempted murder, terrorism, aggravated arson, and aggravated assault, authorities said. Shapiro said he, his wife, their 4 children, 2 dogs, and another family had celebrated the Jewish holiday of Passover at the residence on Saturday and were awakened by state troopers pounding on their doors at about 2 a.m. Sunday. They fled and the fire was extinguished, officials said. No one was injured. At a Sunday evening news conference in front of the badly damaged south wing of the governor's residence, Pennsylvania State Police Colonel Christopher Paris identified, identified the man in custody as Cody Balmer, 38, of Harrisburg. Paris emphasized that the investigation is continuing. Authorities did not disclose the man's motives, but an emotional Shapiro, who is viewed as a potential White House contender for the Democratic Party in 2028, said he is unbowed. So, I think that this has to do with them celebrating Passover. I do not think that this, of course it's political in nature at the same time, but not because he was a Democrat. I think it was because he was celebrating Passover. The dude, Cody Balmer, and there's pictures of him up. I had him on Facebook earlier. This the cat? That's the cat. Hang on. Well, that's him. Oh, wow. A lot of crazy pictures. Let me just bring this on up over to you. Let me duplicate this. Duplicate. Duplicate. Now I'll bring it on over. Scrolly only up to the top. I don't think this is the cat. Yeah, it is. This is the cat right here. This is him. So, I notice nobody's leaving comments, but in all fairness, the last time that publicly you can see that he posted was in 2023. So, but to me, when I see the guy, man, I don't know. He got more hair here, but he kind of looked kind of Aryan Nation kind of looking to me. I can't say that I know anything like that for certain, but, Well, anyway, this is the cat. And, I don't know. I can only think that it had something to do with Passover. I do not think that this has to do with the fact that Josh is a Democrat. So, I'm sure we'll find out, or we'll be told something anyway. I mean, that's the way it always works. They tell us something. May not be true, but, you know. You know how that is. Doesn't have to be in their world. Let's see. Okay. I gotta have a sip of coffee, because, like, yeah. And because this next headline will blow you away. And the pun, certainly intended. Yum yum. I had to grab coffee too, so that allotted for some of the 5 minutes late that I was. So, man, I feel bad for the skinny people of China. And this is why. Chinese under 50 kilograms warned to stay home due to avoid being blown away. So, if we put in 50 kg to pounds, I did this earlier, but I couldn't remember. You're talking about roughly a little over 110 pounds. Just a little over 110 pounds. And you were told to stay home. China has urged residents in northern part of the country who weigh less than 50 kilograms to stay indoors, warning they could be easily blown away as powerful winds sweep through the region, according to local media. Country's weather agency has issued 5 warnings for this weekend, covering wind, rain, snow, and thunderstorms, with gusts reaching level 13. Wind strength is measured on a scale of from 1 to 17. According to the China Meteorological Administration, level 11 winds can cause serious damage, while 12 winds brings extreme destruction. So, yikes. Kind of like the crazy winds we had here. Orange level wind alert, the second highest, in China's 4-tier system, was issued by the capital on Friday for the first time in a decade. The storm, I ate chili earlier and, well, I may have enjoyed it, but it doesn't enjoy me. The storm, triggered by a cold vortex moving south from Mongolia, brought gusts of up to 150 kilometers per hour across Beijing, Tianjin, and parts of Hebei. That might be Hebei. Authorities warned that the winds were strong enough to uproot trees with trunks up to 30 centimeters in diameter. Damn metric. To minimize damage, city parks were closed and older trees were trimmed or reinforced. Or you just tied a bunch of the under 50 kilogram people to them and, well, maybe they'll stay there. Despite these measures, nearly 300 trees have been knocked over, damaging several vehicles. No injuries were reported. Officials also advised Beijing's 22 million residents to avoid non-essential travel. I am telling you, these storms are not like they used to be. Not even close. Not even close. Hang on. Okay. So I had a message happen to be our group, and I always check. Somebody tagged me, so it's all good. Somebody wondering about the incident that I mentioned at the top of the show, which I won't go into out of respect for privacy, but nonetheless, it was a serious incident. Hang on. Okay, much better. Okay, let's see. Alright, I've only got 3 more headlines for you, so we'll make tonight like a band-aid and we'll rip it off quick and be like, there. Works for me. So I can't guarantee you that, that the next 2 articles are in order. I posted them in the order that they were posted on RT, but I can't promise that that was the order of events happening. I think so, though. It was too much work for me to just read the dates and times. No, like I say, I ran in and literally had to get the show up going. I was like behind. Ukraine again unilaterally attacks Russian energy infrastructure, says Ministry of Defense. Says Ukrainian military has targeted 2 energy facilities in Russia's Belgorod region over the past 24 hours, Defense Ministry in Moscow has said. Russian President Vladimir Putin accepted a proposal by his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump to adhere to a 30-day pause on targeting energy facilities operated by Kiev and Moscow during their phone call on March 18. Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky also said that his country would abide by the truce. However, the Russian military has since accused Kiev's forces of breaching the partial ceasefire on an almost daily basis. Now, on this, first of all, I realize that I'm reading from Russia Today, so don't think that I ever forget about that. I do. I think about it all the time. However, most of their articles are, all of them that I've seen are factual. They have editorial stuff and whatnot that's a little bit more on the propagandish side of things. But when they post an article, I've never found them to be false. However, I had to add that little carrot in there because there is something going on that we don't see and we aren't being told. And the reason why I say this is because from everything that I can gather from multiple different news sources, Ukraine has repeatedly keep hitting Russia. And from everything I've seen, Russia retaliates, but that's what it is. It's retaliation for what Ukraine is doing. However, over the weekend, or it might have been the very end of last week, there was something that Trump had said, and I don't remember verbatim what it was, but it wasn't very favorable for Russia. And I think it was something to the effect of Russia's not serious about peace. And now that may have to do with a lot of things. It may be because they don't want to make a mineral deal that Trump finds acceptable. I don't know. But it led me to believe that everything's not necessarily copacetic between Trump and Putin. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. May play out later, may not, who knows. I'm just here for the ride just like all of you. So, then, as I was saying a while ago, I have most certainly seen Russia take retaliatory strikes. I believe this to be one. Russian missile strikes Kiev troops during a word ceremony in Sumy, says Ukrainian MP. Says a Russian missile had struck Ukrainian troops lining up for an award ceremony in the city of Sumy near the front line, according to Ukrainian lawmaker Mariana Bezoglaya, former member of Vladimir Zelensky's political party. The acting mayor of Sumy, Ardian Kobzar, said that the strike on the city's center on Sunday left more than 20 people dead and over 80 wounded. Bezuglaya, I'm sure I'm getting that way wrong, claimed in a post on Telegram later in the day that those killed were Ukrainian servicemen. An appeal to Ukraine's commander-in-chief, Alexander Syrsky, and separately to the commander of the Territorial Defense Forces, do not gather the troops for award ceremonies, especially in civilian cities, she wrote. No shit, Sherlock? I mean, that's the last thing you want to do. When you are at war with another nation, probably not a really good idea to hold award ceremonies near the front lines. I mean, just something telling me there. You know, the old thing, don't stand too close together, one grenade to get you all. Yeah, you would think it would apply to award ceremonies too, but apparently they're still figuring that one out. Hang on, let me get this shared out. And it's more fear-mongery kind of crap. Boss of world's largest hedge fund fears global financial system collapse. Ray Dalio. You know, I don't trust it when any of these folks speak. None of them. None of them. Because if you think they're going to give you the inside before they've given all their buddies the real inside, I've got some incredible bridges for sale and some marshland and all kinds of good stuff. So, another sip of coffee. I got one more article. Make it a super duper easy night. Okay. Russian military confirms shooting down Ukrainian F-16 jet. So, Ukraine has lost 2 F-16s. And one of them went down, and Ukraine is tight-lipped about it, the first one that went down. I think it was shot down in... Or not shot down. I think it was went down in some type of a training. However, this was a combat mission in which an F-16 was taken down. So, Russia has now confirmed that it was their anti-air defense systems. Well, apparently there was like 3 missiles shot at the thing. Which, you got 3 missiles on you. Hope you can fit your head between your legs. Says in total, right here, the Russians fired 3 missiles at the plane. It was either a guided anti-aircraft missile from an S-400 ground-based system or an R-37 air-to-air missile. So, either way, not good news. Especially when you got 3 smoke trails coming at you. So, keep in mind, these are the Gen 4, if you will, F-16s. They're not, I believe that the F-16s that we're flying around, I think they're kind of considered Gen 5-ish. They're not really Gen 5, but their electronics packages and other things have been upgraded enough to where they can more or less compete against Gen 5. I don't know what all changes they made. Of course, that stuff's kind of classified, but I know they've upgraded the hell out of the F-16, they upgraded the hell out of the F-18, and the F-15. Those 3 aircraft, even though those platforms have been around for quite a while, they all 3 are very, very serious contenders still today because of their advancements that they made. I mean, the F-18, the Super Hornet, that's not even the same damn plane as the original F-18. It's a total different airframe and the whole, I mean, I think they just used the name F-18 because probably Congress and the American people probably wouldn't have realized how much more money they were pumping into it. Which is fine. We gotta have, air defense is like, that's one of the most important defenses you can have. So I get it, why they pump money. I don't understand why they pumped what they did in the F-35 project and continue to pump money into that junk. But it's not entirely junk, okay? The electronic warfare capability of the F-35, plus its battlefield data sharing technology, which, by the way, the F-16, F-18, and F-15 all have now. Maybe not to the same extent as the F-35, but they all work together. And I'm talking about electronically communications between the aircraft. I'm not talking about the pilots, the aircraft themselves. It's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. You can have one guy out in front, completely stealthed out, in an F-35 that can pick up everything about the battlefield in front of them. And it relays it all back to every single other aircraft. It relays it back to whatever base they're working out of, off of a ship or what have you. It's pretty impressive, pretty incredible technology. I am excited for the F-47. I don't think that that's going to turn into a cash cow like the 35. I think the 47, I think it's going to probably be pretty good to go out of the box. Because I don't think, and they know this, I don't think that they would hear the end of it if they had another F-35 debacle, because that was insane. But anyway, that is the headlines I have for you. Need to reply to this guy in the group here, and maybe head towards bed. I'm not so much early tonight, but well, maybe a little bit of a head start. So got up. Well, I thought I got up early this morning. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell happened with that alien abduction, but so Jen gets up, and she said she was going to come in here. And I swear I looked at the time. Now, mind you, I'm still in bed, so no coffee. And I didn't put my glasses on. So those are probably two important pieces of information. And I looked over at the, we got our monitor here. Well, we've got a monitor in the bedroom as well. And I looked up at the monitor on, camera monitor in the bedroom. And I swore that it said like 3:30 a.m. And I'm like, what the? So I was going to lay back down and fall back asleep. And then I went to grab my e-cig to grab a couple of vapes on it a few minutes later, right after she had walked out to here. And I noticed the sun coming up, seen through the side of the curtain in the bedroom. And I'm like, oh, hell no. So that's when I picked up my phone and looked at it. And sure enough, it was like 5:30. So I was like, damn, what kind of alien abduction crap is that? So, because I kind of felt like I got more sleep than it was 3:30, but at the same time, yeah, they took my hat. The bastards. Nah, it's behind me. My hat's never too far away. I don't know why I don't know. I used to always wear a hat. And I know you guys normally see me videos and on the show you see me with my hat on. I normally don't have my hat on, which is like the oddest thing in the world because before this, I always wore a hat. That's one thing you could count on is I was going to have a hat on. But I also had long hair all the time too. And the biggest reason why I wore a hat was to kind of hold down the long hair. And then I wear my hair in a ponytail when it's long enough. So I'm getting there. Give me another month or so and it'll probably be ponytail length. At least, the little stubby ponytail thing. I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's been 11 years since I've had long hair. And I'm a long hair, man. Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you. I miss it, man. I freaking miss it. And so I'm growing it back. Be wearing it in a ponytail again. And this is going to sound crazy. I'll tell you guys about this before I leave. And this is going to sound really crazy. But I don't care. It's what I feel. So we've all heard about the pineal gland. We've all heard about it being your third eye, if you will. There's a lot of talk about it being your connection to spirituality. And I won't argue or deny that, not even a little bit. I think hair is like an antenna for your pineal gland, however you say it. I really do. And I think that is very well demonstrated by the story of Samson in the Bible. It's not to say that you can't do everything in God's authority that you could do with or without hair. But I assure you that there wouldn't have been such a big deal of that made in the Bible if there wasn't to Samson's long hair. So I know it's a crazy belief. Seems crazy anyway. I'm sure to a lot of people. But I'm pretty convinced. I feel different. I actually feel different. And my connection to the Father, since I started growing my hair back out, it's like the difference is having to put his phone number in your phone and hit call and hitting speed dial, if that makes any sense. So there's got to be something to it. And I'm sure that's why he kind of nudged me and encouraged me to grow it back. So just interesting stuff. So anyway, I better get off of here and reply to this, and then God willing, I'll see you all tomorrow night. So hope you all have a good one. As always, shalom, peace, Hetty.